Hey y'all, welcome to the Pace Studio in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Ellen.
I'm Lizzie.
And this is the Week in Music, where we're going to talk about all the best new songs, albums, music news, and everything else you may have missed in music in the past 7 days. And to start out, we're going to talk about a band that's been around for a little while, but they're back.
Check the watch.
Yeah, how long has it been?
So it's been almost 20 years. Oh, I guess, so their first record came out in 2000.
Yeah.
They were putting out like stuff prior to that.
This is Coldplay we're talking about, people.
This is Coldplay.
This is Coldplay.
Yes.
This is big time.
Yes, British four-piece, been around, I guess, about 20 years. So yeah, their new record, Everyday Life, is out today.
Yeah.
It's a double album. It's their first double album. They kind of split it into two distinct parts. It's a little bit annoying. They called like the first part Sunrise, second Sunset. Like, yeah, come on, all right,
come on, we get it.
Like, it's a
Light
typical
and dark.
Coldplay move.
Yeah.
Like, I think for a band that has a record called A Head Full of Dreams and titles like that, where
That's
you're just
true.
like, like the Greta Van Fleet album title. To me, that's just like they stole that from Coldplay. Like, there had to be a Coldplay
was their
working title.
first, sure.
Their album title was I think it's Anthem for the Peaceful Army.
Yeah.
And like that just seems like Chris Martin.
Yeah, Chris
has
Martin.
just written all over it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Everyday Life. So this record was rumored to be a sort of experimental Coldplay album, which got me excited because I was like, all right, the last couple of records have just been
kind of some duds in there.
Especially the very last one is, I would say, complete garbage.
It's
like,
not good.
I don't even know what's salvageable on that record.
I can't think of a single one. I can't think of a single song.
But so they've been gone for a while. It's been a few years now.
Yeah.
And so I was very intrigued by the prospect of an experimental album. I wouldn't necessarily consider this like any kind of avant-garde record or anything, but I think it's as experimental as Coldplay could be.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That does make sense.
It's a pretty like genre fusing type of album. It's very down tempo, but there's a lot of there's classical music on here. There's spoken word. There is.
Well, there you go.
There's a lot of there's like a song with saxophone and French vocals.
Okay.
There's what else is on here?
Dipping their toes.
They're really just going for it. But I think the fact that I don't know. I was discounting them at first. I was like, I just don't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't pumped when I heard that Coldplay was releasing a double album. I was like, give me a break. But is it a listenable?
It is listenable. There's there's some gospel stuff on here. Like, there's a lot of uses of backing vocalists that are not the band. To me, it's sort of kind of experimental and has some of the interesting textures of their record Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends, but then it also kind of has the sort of, I guess, somber beauty kind of Ghost Stories, which maybe wasn't as good as it could have been, I think. But all in all, this is a slightly premature evaluation, but having heard it about 5 or so times now, I am very pleasantly surprised at how good it is. I think I'm
happy to hear that.
It's easily their best record since 2011.
Okay.
So,
that's not saying much considering what they've released since 2011, but okay, that's good. That makes me want to listen to it more than I wanted to before, so that's good.
It's worth a listen. Yeah. And even people that are skeptical, you can hate the last 2 records, but this one I think is worth diving into.
All right, cool.
Sure.
We'll check it out, guys.
Yeah. So the next record we're going to talk about is Beck.
Yeah, another artist who has continually released music for the last 20, 30 years now. Beck has not gone anywhere. This is going to be his 14th album out today, Hyperspace, which is like, okay, hyperspace.
All right, Beck.
No, but the last album he released was Colors in 2016. And again, it's kind of like, okay, we get it. Like, you're going to try some new stuff out here. Colors was an album I did not love. I did not like that Beck album so much, besides a few songs on there.
There was some, he was trying new things.
The song Wow is the one I always reference, which is just like the most bonkers pop song I've ever heard in my life. But it kind of works because it's Beck, it's kind of like, okay, you're being weird, you're Beck,
Yeah.
That song works. And, I think the singles on this new album, Hyperspace, have reminded me a lot of his weirder side. Like, this is not going to be the morning phase kind of like heartbroken, soft rock, indie folk Beck. This is the weird, I'm in the studio trying strange stuff Beck. Like, this is one of my favorite Beck albums is Midnight Vultures, which is the song that contains the legendary Deborah, which
Great song.
Yeah, great song. One of our best songs of 1999. Check out the list on pacemagazine.com. But yeah, this album reminds me more of those kind of weird, glitchy studio experimental projects that he's done before, which makes me glad. Like, I'm like, okay, this sounds like these songs sound like nothing he's ever put out before, which makes me more inclined to listen to it. Yeah, so I think if you're a Beck fan, check it out. If you're not, I mean, I don't know, maybe too late for you, but
I think those types of records honestly are more interesting than the records that are super similar but not very good. Like, despite I think your opinion of the new Beck record, like, at least it's probably going to be a challenging listen.
That's
for people.
true. That's
like,
true.
I don't know. I think I'd rather
I think that's a good word.
If the record's not that good, I'd rather have something a little bit weirder or unexpected than something like this. Kind of sounds similar, but it's not very good.
Yeah, exactly. It's an off-kilter one for sure. And we're gonna check out a song from the record, which I really actually have loved listening to a lot, called "Uneventful Days."
Gonna leave me alone. Uneventful days, uneventful nights, living in the dark, waiting for the light. Nothing you could say can make it come to life. I don't have a way to make you change your mind. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know.
Okay, and that was Uneventful Days by Beck. And now we're going to talk about a piece of news that came out this week, and that is the 2020 Grammy nominations arrived on Wednesday. And there's a lot to parse through here. I mean, the Grammys have, 84 categories? That's not a correct number, but they have approximately 8 million categories. So that's not something we can cover in a short program like this one. But what was your impression of the main categories?
I was pleasantly surprised that Lizzo was leading the nominations.
Yes, she has 8 nominations, which is more than anybody else, shortly followed by Billie Eilish and Lil Nas X, who each have 6. But yes, Lizzo.
Yes, I would love to see her win some of the big awards. I would be surprised if she, like, for example, like Best New Artist is a really, really tough category.
That's true. It's always kind of a toss-up.
Nominated for, and I think she's in the running for it, but I imagine like something like that going to Billie Eilish or Lil Nas X probably, just in terms of their reach.
Yeah, their notoriety helps a lot. I think that Billie Eilish may have that category out for Album of the Year in the bag, I think, but how incredible. Just icing on the cake to see Lizzo take home Album of the Year. I mean, we obviously at Pace would be huge fans of that. We love Lizzo.
We've never heard of her.
We've never heard of her. No, we love Lizzo.
We play her all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that's almost like me getting too comfortable with the Grammys. I mean, Casey Musgraves winning Album of the Year last year, and then Lizzo winning
2 years in a row.
I don't think it should. No, our job is to hate the Grammys. They suck. No, but I agree. I think the main categories were actually very pleasantly surprising. I mean, also in Album of the Year nominations, which again, these don't really stand a chance. But Bon Iver, Father of the Bride, Vampire Weekend's new album this year, and Lana Del Rey, which I think is kind of a given. The R&B album by her, who's an incredible guitar player and singer. Ariana Grande, her pop album, Thank You Next. And yeah, Billie Eilish. It's a really good lineup. I'm cool with any of those winning, really. I mean, I don't dislike any of them.
Crazy about the Bon Iver record.
Yeah, I could. I mean, compared to the other ones, I guess I could take it or leave it. But in the Lil Nas, it's really not even an album. I guess it's more of like an EP. I definitely. Yeah. I think Old Town Road may be the best thing he's ever released. But yeah, I mean,
like, who do you think's going to take that?
Album of the Year.
Album of the Year.
I think it's Billie.
I think Billie's probably going to take it.
Yeah.
Just because, whether it's commercially or critically, I don't know. I think like something like Casey Musgraves that sort of eclipsed both of those things, like, are probably better I don't know, have a better chance of taking it.
Although
but,
the Grammys have been known to just do whatever is
but
the most commercially. I mean, never
Bruno
forget
Mars,
the Bruno Mars. Yeah, I was about to
which
say over Kendrick. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Garbage.
It's insane.
But
but another category this year that actually looks really awesome is the Best New Artist category, which you mentioned earlier. I mean, how many amazing artists are in here?
There's some good stuff. I mean, strangely, this category is also kind of garbage because a lot of these people have been around for
sure. Yeah.
5 years.
Like we said, Truth Hurts by Lizzo came out, 2 or 3 years ago? And she's the Best New Artist. But yeah, and I mean, Rosalia, too, who released her, stunning debut album in 2018. I feel like she really would have been better suited for that category last year.
Yeah.
But still, happy to see her on there. Billie, I mean, she had to get nominated at some point. Maggie Rogers, obviously, who we love. I'm happy to see her on there as well. And then a couple Pace Studio alums in here with Tank and the Bangas and Yola.
If Yola wins that, I think I'm just gonna not come into work
I'm taking a day. She won't. I don't think. But yeah, Yola, an incredible country soul artist from the UK. I mean, what a cool thing to see someone like that slide into the Grammy nominations. I mean, they do have a way of pleasantly surprising us every now and then.
Yeah.
Despite being really stinky the rest of the time.
I hope she sneaks on for a performance.
Wow, that would be.
They have a lot of group performances.
They could do some kind of country
covers.
Women thing with Brandy or something.
Throw the high women on there.
Yeah, get the high women in there. That's what we want. Speaking of the high women, my biggest glaring omission snub from this year's nominations would be Maren Morris not getting a nomination for her album Girl for country. I mean, she just took the CMA home for Album of the Year.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Somebody's asleep at the
Somebody
wheel.
fell asleep. Yeah, Jesus did not take the wheel. Carrie Underwood was not in the office that day. Yeah, I don't know. So that was to me kind of a shock. And I mean, we could spend all day talking about other ones that we feel were wronged. But all in all, it could be worse.
It's a mixed bag.
It's always a mixed bag. The Grammys is something that critics are always going to be fighting with. It's never going to line up with a Village Voice pop and jazz poll at the end of the year. It's not going to match up with what critics say. But this year, I think, is decent.
It's decent. You gotta, like you said in the piece, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, take it with a bucket of salt. Yeah, but
and I think when we talk later in the year about our albums of the year, we're gonna be talking about a lot of these records.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think
that's true.
There is some overlap.
There's some crossover for sure. But yeah, stay tuned for that for our albums of the year list, which will drop in a few weeks, and stay tuned for our Grammy coverage. It's happening on January 26th next year on CBS. So tune in for that and read Pace. We'll have all of our takes about it. And for now, we're signing off, and we'll see you next week back at the Week in Music.